All right, everybody. So it is time that we uncover the truth. You need to know what is going on in the REI industry. You need to know what is going on specifically with coaching in the REI industry. Stay tuned. So I had a conversation with a really good friend of mine. His name is Don Costa. Don runs a very successful podcast, the Flip Talk podcast. He also has a mastermind. Don has a lot of things that he does in the coaching industry. And let me tell you right now, Don is legit. He is someone that you need to follow, someone that you can actually trust his advice. Let me tell you why you can trust his advice. Because he actually does this business every single day. Don is someone out there hitting the pavement, out there sending mailers, closing deals. He's someone that actually does this. That is something that is few and far between in REI. I want to show you guys a clip from a podcast I did with Don just a little while back where we talked about REI coaching. I want you guys to kind of see some opinions regarding what is going on in that industry, especially after COVID started. If you want to see the full conversation with Don, click here or select the card at the end of the video. As always, make sure you stick around till the end of the video so you can hear my final thoughts.
And we came out of that good, but a lot of investors didn't. And you know what I saw during this time, and tell me if I'm wrong. I saw a lot of new coaches pop up, a lot of new courses coming out, a lot of new advertising on how great people are and how they do so many deals. But I also saw a lot of businesses tank. So I happen to see a lot of new people shift to coaching. Did you see that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of coaches too that had been probably quiet for a little bit that jumped on the virtual bandwagon, and I think that was really where a lot of people in the coaching side of things saw their opportunity, and we definitely saw a lot of ads, and I saw a lot of people shift as well. So I'm not going to. I want to be careful with my words here, but look. I think that regardless if the market's good or bad, there are a lot of people that are half successful in real estate that decide they're going to be a coach to augment, or to find success. And those are usually the wrong people to follow. The people that you want to follow are the people that have had some failures, some success, have been in it for a while, that run a strong business, that are still doing the business. And they have some years of experience. I think that's the worst thing you can do is follow somebody that they always talk about that's like one step ahead of you, doesn't know that one thing they're going to do is going to get them sued because they have no life experience, right? Find a coach who has some experience in the game, has been around for a little while. And I think that's my takeaway from what I saw, even pre-COVID, there was a guy out there that was advertising that he was going to be like the best coach ever. He's not even, I don't think he's around anymore. And when we dug into it, he'd done like 12 flips. Yeah. And it's like, you don't even have enough experience to know what's going to go wrong, You know
what's crazy though is, so you've heard of the phrase, what you don't know, right? Right. So getting into this, people see somebody pop up and they're like, oh, I've done hundreds of deals. I mean, really, they don't have a way to verify that, and that's what's crazy. I know one guy, he's out there driving a Lambo, and he's over on the East Coast, and he does not do deals, but he sells a lot of coaching. And I'm not mentioning any names, but he's got a following, not a huge following, but he's got enough to sell coaching. And when you look at that, I mean, it's crazy to see what somebody can do. They can start posting pictures of fancy cars. They can start doing things like that. And then next thing you know, they've got people following them because he has what they want, or he has what they think they want, but they don't have a way of verifying that. Does he own that? Did he rent that car? I mean, it is, it's really hard for newer people to verify that. They only see what's on Instagram. And I feel like Instagram, Facebook, all that social media stuff, it just puts on almost a persona, right? You know how they like fact check everything the president says and they seem to say it's false? I feel like what they need to do with real estate investors is right below their post, they need to go, this has been fact checked and this is bullshit. So,
yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be awesome. I'm be honest with you. I'm always like both sides of the fence on this. I'm torn because it's like early on in my real estate investing career and putting out a podcast, I was so afraid of being labeled a guru. I was so anti-guru because I just felt like gurus were a joke. And I met a lot of these guys who are really decent human beings. There are some coaches out there that have been around for a while that get labeled falsely as the bad gurus that really are good guys trying to do good things. Um, you know, and then you got these people that have no business coaching. And like you said, how do you verify that? And should you be doing the business? Should you not be doing the business? Is always a question. I know that the 49ers head coach does not play football, but he's really good at he's really good at teaching fundamentals, and he's really good at motivating a team. So if you find somebody that you align with that can really build that confidence in you to take action and help you find your purpose and direction, then they're a good coach, right? And then fundamentally you just got to decide, do I want a good coach, or do I want a good coach that is doing the business? What are my priorities past that? And I think everybody here that's listening to this has that responsibility to do their own due diligence and really look into that individual, into whether or not they're comfortable with what they're teaching, how they're teaching, and whether or not they're going to be able to get them there. If you're looking for somebody that's going to hand you a secret, push button, automated, here's where you get $5 million, it does not exist. There is all the content you need out there. So you don't even need another course. You can, between podcasts and YouTubes and stuff like this, you don't even need a course. What you need is somebody who can fundamentally get you the confidence and the strength to take action and to move forward towards your goals. That's really, find that person you align to that can really light that fire in your butt and guide you to where you need to be. And hopefully that makes sense. Somebody out there hears this. Buying coaching, I think that if you invest in yourself, you're going to be that much more committed to what you're doing. Trying to find it for free, everybody I've seen out there tries to get the coaching for free, usually doesn't follow through once they talk somebody into it. So, but it's finding that person that you really align with that motivates you, I think, is a secret sauce.
You actually bring up a really good point, because I think there's a lot of great tools out there, right? There's YouTube, there's things like that a lot of people can learn stuff from. And I think somebody that's joining a mastermind, in my opinion, should have already watched some of those videos, should have already practiced this a little bit, and should have already done a deal. And then they get into a mastermind to help grow where they're at. And then when you look at coaching, it's a really similar thing. If you don't go spend $50,000 on a coach when you don't even know what the business is. Now, learn the business. You take advantage of all those free things out there. Because if you do that, and then you learn where you're stuck, or you learn where it is that you need a little more assistance, now you're paying for a coach, and you're specifically talking to that coach about the things that you need. So like, for example, somebody stands up in front of your mastermind and they say, "Hey, Don, I'm here, haven't done anything, help me get started." You're gonna go, "Oh man, you are in the wrong room," right? 100%. But if somebody went up there and said, "Hey, I am struggling on a few things, I've done one deal, I understand these things, but here's where I'm getting stuck. It's when the seller throws me an objection. Here is where I'm getting stuck." Now you're able to take that and mold that person based on what they're telling you. And that person is going to get such an advantage out of what they paid to be in that mastermind, versus the person that just threw the money out, and then 2 months later they're going to come to you and say, "Hey, you haven't got my deal for me yet. I want my money back," right? They're just not going to go as far. And it's the same with one-on-one coaching and things like that. So many people send me messages, and I'm sure you get it. "Hey, I'll come work for your team for free. I just want to learn." And I have to say no to all those. And sometimes I'm like, man, I really like to help this person out. But you have to say no, because if someone's not truly invested in it, that's what they're going to put into it, right? Now, you could get that one person that proves us all wrong out there. But if I'm going to spend time all day answering questions, coaching, what most people don't understand is that does take time away from my business as well. So I don't do much of that. And are you getting a lot of those questions as well?
Yeah, I do. I get a lot of those questions, and I'm probably one of the more patient people out there. I'll have lunch with people because I'm going to eat anyway, But I'm not gonna bring you into my business and teach you for free, let you work for me free, because that takes time away from what I'm doing in my business and my team's time. And you got to understand there's a value trade there. What are you really bringing to us to make that worth it to us? So, if you reach out to me and you're going to be in the area and you ask me to go to lunch, pre-COVID, obviously, I probably would have done it. Now it's a little more impossible. But at the same time, if the whole conversation is what can I do for you, we're not gonna talk much. So, but yeah, no, again, and you got to invest in yourself. You got to be willing to invest in yourself. You got to bring a value proposition. If somebody brought you a deal or two, or maybe they had brought you 3 deals and they said, can I intern with your team now? I provided value. That's a whole different conversation, right? And that's something you may consider. This guy's made me money. This gal's made me money. I may invest a little into them because maybe they might be a good team member for a while. So what can you do from a position of service when you approach somebody, I think is what you're getting out there that is important when you're going to ask somebody to help you. But ultimately we're going to look at whether or not you're going to invest in yourself. I spent too many years trying to coach people for free, and it was just a waste of my time. I put free content out. I have a free podcast out. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to surround myself with people who take action, because really I want to do business with you. I want to do business with you. I want to see your success. I want to be proud of your success. And that's important to me as an individual. So, and then understanding the difference between a mastermind and a coaching program too, are different. A mastermind is not a coaching program. A mastermind is a community that has your back. We're teaching each other. We're helping each other. A coaching program is a totally different ball game. And you got to decide which one of those is right for you as well. And we have a low level and a mid level coaching program as well, which is a whole different conversation.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, because I did do coaching, right? I did the one-on-one, and let me tell you, I paid for it. Man, I paid for it. I paid a lot of money, but ultimately that did help really just rocket me forward. And at that point, that's when I said, man, if this is this good, a mastermind community has to be good. So that's when I joined the mastermind as well. So I've done both. So I know the difference between them. I think that there's value to both. And I think there's less and less one-on-one coaching out there now, and most of it has switched to more of a mastermind community in most cases. But I mean, they're still out there and people can still find those programs. But if we say, we always talk about getting the first deal, we always talk about things like that. That's what a lot of these things end up turning into. And I know people like to hear it, and it gets repeated over and over again. But if you look at people out there right now and you say, hey, you guys are trying to get started, we're talking about masterminds, we're talking about coaching, but we got somebody out there that just can't afford that, right? What are you going to do? Where are you going to tell them to go to try to learn some of this information, to try to learn how to get that first deal?
Anything less than taking action is an excuse. There are so many free aspects out there. The Flip Talk podcast is 4 years old. It's a great tool. There are other podcasts out there. We have the Flip Talk Rookie Playbook, which was 49 episodes. We started with week 1. Where do you even start if you have a wild idea about real estate investing? We take you through 49 weeks. Both those are out there. YouTube, you have a great channel where you're teaching people. There's just networking and the real estate and the REIAs. I know it's a little harder right now during COVID. There are so many opportunities to learn. When I started, we had Carlton Sheets. We didn't have YouTube back in 2003. It was barely a thing. Facebook wasn't even a thing. It was MySpace, for God's sake. So, and I was still able to take action and do it with limited resources. So right now there's an abundance of information to start. If you don't have money, get on Google for dollars and start hunting for dilapidated houses and then go knock on those doors. Get a pre-foreclosure list and go start knocking on doors and figure it out. Even if you didn't have access to education, you could do it the way I did it, which is fail forward, right? I went out and I just started knocking on doors and I screwed up conversations and I went, okay, I don't need to say that. Next time I need to say this. And pretty soon I got my cadence and figured out how to talk to people, and I was closing deals like a crazy person. So, at the end of the day, it's about taking massive imperfect action. And there's so much information that you can almost have analysis paralysis. Massive imperfect action. Just go out there and start doing it.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that clip. I want to talk a little bit more about that because, when we look at this industry, there is so many great people out there that offer training that, even if you go out there and pay $5,000 for training, you could get $100,000 in value from. There's so many people out there that do that and provide such good platforms, and they literally walk you through deals one step at a time. So many of those people, if I threw people out that I knew were doing such a good job, I'd throw out Pace Morby, I'd throw out Sean Terry because he knows what he's doing, Max Maxwell. Some of these people are just out there for the good of the people. You know, I was talking a few weeks ago to Carlos Reyes. He's got such a good platform. There's so many success stories that have come out of his training. Now, when we talk about people that have popped up, you know, pop-up coaches over the last, 8 to 12 months, it's scary to see how many of those people that I knew previous to that have popped into coaching, have thrown together a coaching program because they got all this time. Their business wasn't doing well. So they said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and create a coaching program. There's so many people out there that have done that. I don't want to sit here and make a video where I'm bashing on people, and I'm not going to say anyone's name. However, all I'm going to tell people, if you are a consumer or a potential consumer of coaching, if you are a potential consumer of a program and you are looking to spend a significant amount of money on that, make sure you spend time looking at that coach. Look back to even their Instagram and Facebook prior to starting that coaching program and see some of the stuff they're doing. If you see posts that say, hey, I'm really struggling to get my first deal, and then all of a sudden they have a coaching program, I would steer clear of that. Make sure that you vet out anyone that you are looking at hiring as a coach. Make sure you spend that time, because the last thing you want to do is waste that money and regret it. Just like a seller would vet your company out before they come and work with you and sign a contract, you want to do the same thing when you are going to a potential REI coach. There's a lot of them out there, I said, that are great. Another one is Ryan Pineda out of Vegas. That guy knows his stuff. I do some one-on-one stuff as well, so we'll have a link to that at the end. Make sure you guys vet out your coaching. Make sure you guys really spend your time doing that. Hire someone that you think will be great for you and get you to that next level. Now, I highly recommend coaching. I paid 50 grand for coaching when I started this business, $50,000. But my return was 20 times, 30 times. It just continues to increase. The knowledge I got from dropping that money was significant. Now, I'm not saying go drop 50 grand. There's a lot of things out there now that were not out there at the time I started. So I hope you guys really take this advice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel so you're the first one to know when new videos come out. The only way to stay ahead of your competition is to know it before them. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll talk to you later.